Right now, there is just an overwhelming number of things that we all have to think about. Lots of them are pushed on us by other people, by other entities, and often they are unnecessary. They're complete distractions meant to just eat up our time. And that can come from social media, it can come from politics, it can come from our relationships with other people. But right now, things are just really tense. And it's tough for all of us to get some focus in the middle of all of that tension. We want to reduce the anxiety that we're carrying by allowing ourselves to focus on things that are important. And when we can build a bubble and focus on specific things, we are able to kind of, for at least a limited amount of time, pull ourselves out from that mental rat race and put ourselves into a little easier, an easier space. So I made a board here to help with this. So let's put me over here for a moment. So this is a board that I've created that I'm calling the CinemaScope board, but it's kind of a board of mixed metaphors, just to be perfectly frank. So what we have here initially is we have in our backlog, we've called our backlog my things, like things to do. And then we have my work kind of up here, and then their interruptions. And in my work, we have the things that are me work, which is kind of like work that keeps me sane. And then I have work for others. And you could figure out how you fit into those two buckets. But right now, what we're trying to do with those two buckets is we're trying to say, what are the things that I kind of enjoy doing that I know that I'm predisposed to be able to build a thought bubble around and focus on? What's the work for them that is maybe hopefully defined well enough that I can build that thought bubble? Or that I know that when I start on it, I'm going to need either to work with people or to work in a certain environment to get that work done. In other words, I can build a bubble of focus by putting myself in a situation where I'm like, have a Pomodoro, I have everything I need, and I can just focus on that thing. So down here is their interruptions. And here there's stuff that's not urgent and stuff that's urgent. So these are things that they want. These are things that they need. And we're always balancing against your work and the interruptions of other people. But what usually happens is the interruptions of other people always win because they're other people. And they're going, blah, 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 give me my thing. Where's my thing? Why isn't my thing here? You are an asshole because you didn't give me my thing. And you're like, I have other things to do. And at some point, we have to be open and honest to ourselves and figure out what it is that we can do and when, right? So we have this kind of coming soon area. Then we have the ready for action area. And the ready for action area is where we have the work that we're going to do today and the work that we're going to do this week. And we understand that that work is going to be made up of these different types of tickets. So when we're pulling new tickets in, we'll say, all right, you know what? I'm going to do a couple of things this week to keep me sane. I know that right now that these people are going to blow up if they don't get this stuff. But I know that later this week, I will do these. So let's just say for sake of argument, that we have actually divided this up so that the green stuff is work that we like to do or want to do, and the purple stuff is work that they want. Okay, so they are asking us to do all of this work, and we know that this week we've got at least one thing that we wanted to do. Or if we don't think that this is balanced well enough, we can say, you know what? The heck with you guys, I'm going to make sure that this is balanced between the things that I need to do and that you need me to do so that I know that I'll be able to focus and that I'm not always being interrupted. I'm also putting some boundaries on myself, saying each week you can come and interrupt me with stuff, but just know that I have capacity and I'm not here to just do these purple tickets, in ad infinitum. Even though I guess I accidentally made too many of them look purple. Okay, so then over here, We have the I'm doing this and the I'm dealing with this. All right. So this is work that you're doing right now. You're actively doing that work during this Pomodoro or this time of work. There's a WIP limit of 3, so you could have a couple more things floating around in there if you want. But I'm dealing with this is you specifically saying, this is a pain and I'm dealing with it. And so here's why this exists. Is I find more often than not that most of the things that are stuck in people's doing column are things that they're actually dealing with, like things where they've done their work for it and they're waiting for somebody else to stop being an obstruction, or they're ready to do the work but they can't finish it because somebody else has to make a decision, or because they're being a pain in the butt, basically. So I'm doing means I'm actually actively working on this. I'm dealing means that I'm taking this stuff and I'm waiting for other people to get it done. And then at the end of all of this is the critical acclaim or the panned by the Academy sections. And so we went from ready for action into action, and now that's a wrap. So this is our done column here. And in our done column, we have the things that we liked to do or that went well. Okay, so well acted, and I'll make this a little bit bigger for y'all. Well acted is, oops. There we go. Well acted is work that went well or was effortless, where the work just kind of flowed. So these are things where you're actually able to build a pretty good state of flow. And with the well directed, these are things that went well, but you actually had to work on it to get people to get that work done. You know what I mean? So that's important because this actually shows that things can go well but still require some effort. So here you're learning a little bit more about the planning and the relationships. So the next time you pull one of the stickies in that has to deal with the folks that you worked with in this one, you might be able to get them information earlier, or set up a meeting to collaborate, or get them to do acceptance testing earlier, or whatever it is that they're doing, that you deal with that relationship earlier, so that therefore you're able to move a ticket into that column, right? So we'll move a couple of these back so that we can play with them down here as well. Now, panned by the Academy, you can see how serious this section is. Okay, so things can be bad, which are like maybe like that was kind of annoying, or that movie didn't work for me, or that was very, very bad. So in a Rotten Tomatoes world, this is like a 4 and this is a 1. Like this is the one that was so bad that you'll be telling stories about it in the future. This is the one that was bad enough to just cause some improvement, right? So why are these all important together? Because when we start back here by looking at the work and seeing how that work is coming in, work that keeps me sane, work for others, they want this interruption, they need this interruption, that we understand what our interruption work is and what our planned work is. And then we start to plan better in the future because we know that all of these purple stickies end up being unplanned work. You got that? That's kind of the punchline here. Is this isn't just like trying to get people the stuff that they're asking for when they ask it. It's that we honestly didn't plan for this work, and maybe we should have. Maybe we should have guessed that these things were coming, and we should have made stuff so that they were a green ticket up here and work. That's very important because interruptions take up more of your time than planned work. Because you have to plan them the moment they interrupt you. Planned work you plan in a calm, relaxed environment before you start the work. Unplanned work you plan the moment it comes and you say, oh my God, and then you have to do that work, all right? So don't do that. All right, ready for action. Just going to go through this one more time. These are the today and this week. So this is the work I'm going to do right now. This is the work I'm going to do this week so that you can see the balance of the work item types as they're going in. Action is what you're doing or what you're waiting for. What's going and what's going slowly. All right, so you can think of these both as doing if you want, but this is doing quickly, this is doing slowly. And then the last bit here, of course, was the wrap, which is things that went well and things that needed some help. That's it for today.